Hey Rebels, I'm going to be honest. Clothing is one of the things I don't spend a lot of time thinking about. As long as it's clean and my wife doesn't object too loudly, I tend to wear whatever is the most comfortable at all times. If it's shorts and a hoodie, you're probably going to see me wearing it. But I also understand that there's this world of fashion and design out there where people have invested decades of knowledge and skill into the creation of clothing. They think about clothing the way I think about craft beer. They're as passionate about the art and the craft of designing something that will look good on a human being in terms of clothes. The same way we think about brewing beer. That's where Brick and Mortar comes in. They're a new fashion and decor shop, and they've opened up in the Warehouse District. And I was told they only use local designers and locally made products, which seems to me a great way to build and nurture a local industry of designers and artists. I found myself thinking that this is the kind of business that shares the same attitude and perspective as Rebellion. Janis Procyk is the owner of Brick and Mortar. I've invited her here today to come share a pint with me and explain what her shop is all about. Janis, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Besides stumbling through the introduction, pretty good.
That's okay. It happens to all of us.
So what is Brick and Mortar and how did you guys come to be?
So I am a clothing designer. I have been kind of involved, I have been involved in Saskatchewan Fashion Week for the past 6 years. And with that coming to a close this year, obviously I had some advance notice, but it was one of those things where it was such a good opportunity for clothing designers to shed light on an industry that is kind of glossed over in the city when there's so much other competition with big box stores. So a lot of it was that, what are we going to do to replace that, and how, if I'm a clothing designer, how am I going to build and continue basically my career? So this kind of started as me trying to get my studio out of my house, try to grow my business because I kind of maxed out and it was taking over my entire house, and to also kind of bring some other people that I've met along the way kind of on the ride with me. So I got asked a lot by tons of clients and tons of customers about where do you buy locally made clothing or where do you buy handmade clothing in the city, and there was honestly nowhere. So there's kind of this kind of niche market where people really want to support local artists and they want to buy things handmade and locally made, but they just had nowhere to go. So with these hands opened up in the Cathedral area, they're on 13th Avenue in Elphinstone. If anyone hasn't been there, you should probably go because it's great. So they opened, but it was still more kind of craft focused, where I wanted to do an actual boutique of clothing and accessories and things that kind of fit in kind of my realm. So that's where it all stemmed from.
Is it just for women or is it guys too?
We have a whole guys section. This has been an ongoing thing that's been kind of hilarious, as men don't shop the same way that women do, that they don't understand that you can browse through all of the store, which I've kind of learned after watching people for the last 3 weeks.
What do you mean?
Is they need a separate men's section that's designated for men, because if it's just spread throughout the store, they're kind of like, well, that's women's products. And I can kind of understand that because men don't really have a lot of options for clothing or accessories or anything like that they want. They don't want to kind of embarrass themselves by picking up a women's product thinking it's for men, when in reality that's kind of what my brand and everything that I'm trying to do is make it so that it kind of crosses gender norms. For example, I'm wearing a sweater that my boyfriend and I both share. And it's one of those things where it's fashion shouldn't be something that people dictate to you on what it is and what's right and what's wrong. It should be kind of an expression of who you are. So I'm into comfortable casual clothing, much like you are. So it's the whole goal of my brand is to make comfort casual clothing in a functional way that's super versatile. So you can wear it to work, you can wear it casually at home. It's comfortable, it has every function that you need it to have. So yeah.
What can people expect when they walk through your doors?
When they walk through the door, we've had a lot of people stop. There is this super amazing painting, first of all, that you see. It's 8 feet by 4 feet. It's by a local artist. It's absolutely incredible. So you walk in the door and that's kind of what you see. But in there, there's kind of like the warehouse district in itself, like every building has so much character, and so there's a huge like brick wall in there that's just super cool. It makes the space super warm, so it's kind of a cozy vibe where it's kind of like walking into your friend's closet, I guess you would say, where you can find just a bunch of little hidden treasures kind of everywhere. And it's nice knowing that everything is like handmade by someone, and the funds and all of the money goes directly to those artists. So it's, I don't know, it's just this cozy environment where you can kind of browse around and you kind of feel at home, where it's just like a really cool mix of a bunch of different products and people supporting other people within the community. Even though we're all essentially competition, it's nice to have a group of people that kind of pull together to support each other. So yeah.
That sounds like craft brewers.
Yeah, it's great. So it's a really cool thing, and it's like nice to have a community like that, because fashion is kind of viewed as being super cutthroat and super awful and competitive, and it's basically just like a dog-eat-dog world, and it shouldn't be that way, especially in Saskatchewan. Like, we all should be building the industry together. We all offer something unique to the mix that it's like we should be working together to build it instead of basically fighting for all the same dollars.
Do you make unique pieces every single time, or do you have like a lineup of, this is the thing that I will be known for, this particular kind of piece?
A little mix of everything. I've done a lot of custom pieces. They take a lot of time and work though, and sometimes, like with the economy the way it is, the price point is kind of a little bit harder to swallow. But I do have kind of, now that I've kind of caught my groove and what I like doing and what I'm good at doing and what I know, I do a lot of just like cardigans and sweaters, because basically that's what I wear all the time. And I think that if I wouldn't wear it myself, I can't really sell it. So I will create pieces that I like wearing and pieces that work for me and my lifestyle. And I'm kind of finding that those are catching on with a lot of other people too, which has been really good.
You're your own research and development.
Absolutely I am. How else would you do it?
Do you have a distinct philosophy to your store? Something that kind of drives you, not just for the sake of profit, but you're clearly doing this for something other than...
A lot of it is just like people, there's a general lack of awareness on where like fashion, I think in general, that it's like everyone thinks that it's this super kind of snobby, uptight industry where people, it's true, I say you're laughing, but it's true, where people think that because I'm in fashion, I judge what they're wearing, and I am this like, I support women that are size like 00, and it's stuff like that, where it's like fashion really applies to everybody, that regardless of if you wear jeans and a t-shirt every day or you dress to the nines in business attire every day, it kind of is a reflection of your personality. So I think I'm trying to break through that, where clothing takes a lot of time and a lot of skill to make, and I think people need to realize that like buying a t-shirt for $5 isn't fair or ethical really at all, that it's just, when you look at how much the fabric actually costs and then the labor that's put into it, it's kind of sad, the industry with like sweatshops and waste and everything. The industry is really quite terrible. And I'm kind of trying to shed light on the fact that you should be buying locally made things and things that you know are being produced in an ethical way and things that are a reflection of your personality. So that's why I have a bunch of different artists in the stores, because I don't fit everyone's like fashion sense. So I have a certain like niche group that I do, but then there's also a bunch of other people that I really support and adore and think they do wonderful work that do like fill different niches as well. So it's kind of this collective bringing awareness to Saskatchewan as a whole, or just in general, everyone, about how things are made and why it's important to support ethically made things and locally made things and all of that. So that's kind of the general philosophy behind it all.
Does that come down to like ideas around sustainability and exploitation? Well,
absolutely. Let's say the fashion industry is like the second largest waste producer behind oil and gas, which is really quite sad. So there is a ton of waste and a lot of just fabric choices. They're made from like polyester, which isn't a very good thing. It doesn't break down easy. So it's like focusing on like fabric content and just educating people in general about what is important when buying a piece of clothing. Not only should it make you feel good and feel as your best self, but it also should be something that can maybe decompose over time, is going to last you a longer length of time instead of 2 washes and kind of the whole 9 yards. So yeah.
That kind of drives me nuts. You wash a piece of clothing and it shrinks and it's like, wow, I guess that's garbage now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why there's so much waste in the industry, is they cut things in bulk and it's sewn so quickly because it's made in lots of sweatshops. So it's not cut directly like on grain, so it's a little bit skewed, so therefore it just doesn't fit quite right, or it shrinks, or the seams will all fall out, and it's really frustrating because those, like even as simple as a t-shirt, it should be able to last you for a very long time, and you shouldn't have to basically like hand wash everything in order for it to last. It should be something that's actually made of a high quality and a high standard. So I guess, yes, the price point for locally made clothing is a lot higher, but it also too, it's going to last you a really long time. So I don't know, there's a lot of thoughts behind the fashion industry as a whole, to me, to be honest, because it's like I wouldn't consider myself a very stylish person. I just wear what I want and I don't really care. So people don't usually question me though, which is a good thing, because they're like, oh, you're a designer, you know what you're doing, when in reality I just wear things that I think are comfortable. So it's good.
Where's people's heads at in terms of fashion in Regina? Do they get it? Or are they still learning?
It's come a long way. So I mentioned earlier that I went to university in Lethbridge and I moved to Vancouver to take fashion design because I thought that I would want to learn from people that have done it for a lot of years and had a lot of experience. So I went out there, and when I came back to Saskatchewan, I noticed that we're quite a few years behind on trends, where it was kind of hilarious that things at the start, things that I made 6 years ago were trending like 2 years ago. And it was like, this is crazy to me how like people can't, like the internet exists, people can see it online. So we're coming a long way, but we're still like a little bit behind on trends, which isn't a bad thing because I think trends are kind of BS, to be honest, where they are though. That's why there's like such waste in the industry, is everyone thinks they have to be on trend all the time. So every season you need to throw out your entire wardrobe and get something all new, when in reality I think it's ridiculous. Like, it is though. It is ridiculous to have to follow those trends, and that's kind of why there's a lot of waste. And so a lot of it is people, if they just relax a bit and just wear what you want to wear, everyone's going to be okay. Yeah.
Okay. What is the deal with mom jeans coming back?
I don't know. See, that's another one of those things. I think they're so bad because they look like a diaper on so many people. I don't get it. I don't
think it's flattering.
No.
But I'm not a fashion person.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like even these experts or these people high up, who knows how they're actually pulling these trends, but they have been saying for forever that the 80s are coming back and 80s shoulders are coming back, but nobody wants them to come back, so therefore they haven't come back. Or they say that like skinny jeans are on the way out, that bell-bottom jeans are the new thing. So yeah, people are buying maybe one pair of bell-bottom jeans, but everyone just replaced all their other jeans with skinny jeans to get their boots on, to wear like nice boots, but then now they're supposed to be going out of trend, but nobody wants to like buck the trend because it sucks. So it's a thing that it's like fashion is really changing, and there's a lot of change in the industry as a whole on like what's trending and having clothing be an expression of yourself instead of following what these top people say is trendy or what's happening. So I don't know, but you notice like it's kind of interesting to look at these forecasts and trend forecasts and things and see like, oh, they say that this color is going to be the next hot color. So all of my fabric choices then are kind of limited to that color being kind of pushed on you. So then all the designers are making things with that color. So then everyone thinks it's trending, even though in reality it's being pushed from above. So like mustard yellow, for instance, is like hot, hot, hot right now. And I was at a craft show this weekend and I just noticed like the mustard yellow on people and just how they're wearing it, that people are like, I will honestly, it's kind of a tricky and evil marketing tactic, but I will cut something in mustard yellow just to draw people's eyes, because now that they're seeing it more, they're thinking that it's trending, and people are always trying to be on trend, which is, they really should throw that out the window. So they'll see mustard yellow, they'll come into the booth, and then I kind of keep them in there for a while. So I don't know, it's a thing. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with fashion, and I'm in it, so.
It's like the dark underbelly of fashion.
It is. It's like, but you don't know if it's getting like, if trends and ideas are getting shoved down your throat or if you're actually like starting them, that it's kind of this weird balance of like you trying to be trendy and grow and have this like be a trendy person on the street, but then also it's being shoved down your throat from above, that people are basically pushing these fabrics because they say they're going to be the next trend, but that's all that's available. So I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing.
It's funny that you bring that up. In the world of beer, last week I posted a meme about we have all the craft beer, both kinds, hazy and sour. Because hazy and sour is the new hot rage.
It's like sour beer too. That's exactly the same thing, where it's like sour beer is the hot thing. So,
But we've been making sour beers for over 5 years.
yep.
And 5 years ago, when we launched a sour beer, it did not sell. No one was buying it. We're like, this is really great, you guys. This is so awesome.
It is so good.
And then we won a medal at the World Beer Cup
Yep.
for a sour beer. And then suddenly everybody's like, oh, sour beers are the thing.
Yeah.
So
They're like those t-shirts, or they're like, there's like a meme on a t-shirt or whatever you want to call it, where it's like, I like bands that don't exist yet. That's kind of like how I am with sour beer, that I'm like, oh, I drank this years ago, and now that everyone likes it, I can't like it anymore. So even though I love it too much to give it up, though. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, anytime anything goes kind of mainstream, it's like, oh, it's not cool anymore. And that's the same as fashion, though, too, is you want to be different and set yourself apart. But in reality, does it really matter? No.
the hipster twirly mustache thing.
Yeah, it's just, it's ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous. But it's like, if that's who you are, cool, you should rock that and do your thing. But it's like, don't try and force something that's not you just because you are worried about what other people are going to think of you, kind of a thing. So
I never have. I am the uncoolest. I'm really leaning into the dad thing.
But that's that's your like style, and that's totally fine.
I just don't have New Balance sneakers and ankle, what is it, calf-high socks? What were you calling them,
Yeah, you need
Louise?
to pull them up. The socks are hilarious, but that's trending now. Have
Tube
you seen
socks?
that? Yeah, that men wearing like sneakers and high socks, like those mid-calf socks. That's like in.
I thought that was a joke.
No, it's a real thing. And like
ironic.
Tilly hats and fanny packs. I'm not kidding. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Fanny packs are back?
Fanny packs are way in. They're kind of starting to go back out. They were in and now they're going back out again.
Did it go too fast? Did I miss that?
You kind of missed it, yeah. But like Tilly hats right now are like in.
My dad never stopped wearing a Tilly hat. But
See?
He's a fisherman, though.
But that's like what's trending now. It's wild. And that's the thing, is it takes like one young influencer to be like, or one celebrity basically that's like, I don't care what people think of me. A Tilly hat is super functional. So you probably wore it out and then people are like, oh my God, that's the new trend. I have to wear it. And so that's how things kind of like catch on. And it's so bizarre. I do lashes on the side. And I had this one lady talking about her two girls that are in high school. They came up with her to the city because they had to go to Cabela's to buy a Bass Pro Shop hat, because that, I guess, is the hot rage in Indian Head High School. So
Bass Pro Shop hats.
yeah, so the ones like literally the generic like trucker hat with the mesh back with Bass Pro Shops, like the emblem on the front. They are like the hot thing with the kids nowadays, apparently. And I was like, this is so bizarre. Yeah.
Well, let's get into some sour beer. We started joking about memes and ephemeral nature of fashion and beer.
Yeah.
This is called Scotty the Dinosaur.
That's a good name also.
Cheers.
Did the clink make it on? I hope it did.
For sure.
I also, I like the creative naming.
So this one, I think it's about 6% ABV. Mm-hmm. It's actually something we've done in collaboration with the Royal Saskatchewan Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they launched the brand new Scotty the Dinosaur exhibit. And as you may know, Scotty is the largest T-Rex skeleton in the world. Mm-hmm. I think North America for sure, and I'm pretty sure the world. So we said, let's do a tribute beer, and we're trying to come up with names, and then we jokingly said Dinosaur, like dinosaur candies.
Yep.
And Dave was like, I can make a sour beer. So he did.
That's sweet.
It kind of has like if you smell it, it reminds me of pineapple.
I could see pineapple. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Tickles the jowls.
Not aggressively tart.
Mm-mm. It's really smooth.
I think that comes from the lactose, which is going to kill me later.
It's like drinking a tall glass of cool milk. Just kidding. It's not at all like that.
So you said you're a sour beer drinker. Like, is that your go-to? See a sour,
in the
drink a
summer,
sour?
yeah. I like sour beers because they aren't as sweet as Radlers. That they're very like, it's like drinking lemonade on a hot day, but it's not sweet. I don't really like super sweet things, so that's why I really like sour beers. And they also, too, are more than 2.75% or whatever it is. So it's actually like drinking a beer, but it doesn't have this sweet aftermath or your teeth feel fuzzy.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So thumbs up, thumbs down on Scotty the Dinosaur?
4 thumbs up. two hands and 2 toes.
I'm sure Scotty was here to be like 2 claws up.
No, it's really good. I really like the Nokomis kettle sour. I really like that one. The winter kettle sour I found to be a bit stouty tasting, but this one is a very close contender to the kettle sour, the summer kettle sour. I can't even say it. I really like this one. I would 100% buy this beer.
One of the cool things about this is it's the base for our upcoming blackberry sour release, which will be probably, by the time this episode airs, maybe a couple weeks away.
Perfect.
And then it'll sell really fast and there will be nothing left.
I know. I say I need to get in for the blackberry one because that would be really good.
Do you have a favorite fashion story that you like to share with friends? You probably got quite a few memories from traveling.
I feel like there's a few I can't share in case the people that it's happened to are listening.
The dirt.
I can't share those ones. In what context?
Let's say you're sitting around with friends drinking a sour beer.
Oh, see, no, I can't tell that story.
You can't tell that story.
I can't tell that story because it's really bad. Well, okay. Oh, fine. We're going to go for it. To the person, if you're listening and this was you, I don't know if she really quite realized it, which is okay. So I apologize in advance. Don't hate me. I won't share any names. So this was a couple years ago at Fashion Week, and I had recently just launched, I did a Little Monsters brand, which is like kids and like maternity wear and a bunch of stuff. So anyway, I only had made a couple pieces at that point, and there was this one little baby dress that I had there. So it was like a little t-shirt dress, and it had a zipper in the front and 2 pockets, and it was made for like an 18-month kid. And I was at Fashion Week. I had a couple of these pieces, but it wasn't clearly like segmented into like a kids section. It was just kind of in the mix of everything. And this lady goes into the change room. I didn't know what she had. And she walks out of the change room and she asked me, she's like, well, what do you think? And I was looking at her and I couldn't figure out if it was like one of my pieces because I was like, I don't recognize that piece. I have no idea what that is. I thought it was the girl beside me that she grabbed one of her things. And then I saw the 2 pockets in the front and I realized that she had put on this like baby dress as like a t-shirt. And so then she was like, oh yeah, like it's really, really cute. But like the pockets were up in an inappropriate spot. And it was fitting like a crop top, and her comment was that it fits really good. It's just the arms were a little tight, and I didn't know what to say.
She fit her arms in a baby dress?
Yeah.
Like, how tiny were her arms?
She's pretty small, but a lot of it was like, I didn't really know what to say, and I was like, yeah, it might be a little small. I would try something else. So that happened, and then like not even 10 minutes later, some lady came out wearing a dress backwards, and she's like, oh my God, I love it. I have to buy it. And I didn't have the heart to tell her either that she had it on backwards, but I was like, well, fashion is up for interpretation. So anyway, that was like, I don't know. That's kind of my go-to story where it's like,
you wore backwards and you wore
and she wore a baby dress and a backwards dress. So I'm like, you know what? What do I know? Maybe it was meant to be worn that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was something. So anyway, ever since that, this like little baby dress has haunted me because I won't take it to shows that I have my women's clothing at because I'm worried it's going to happen again. So yeah, my mom was actually there and she couldn't see what came out of the change room, but she was looking at my face and she said that she was laughing because my face just like said so many reactions of me not knowing what to say, and it was so awkward. And so she gets a kick out of it too. Mm-hmm.
Where can people find your shop? What's the address?
My shop is 1170 Broad Street. I am in the back of the building though, so if you can get to Value Village in Regina, go across the street directly north, and I'm on the side of the building. So I am where Perimeter Hair Salon used to be. In the front of the building, there's now the Beach Club, which is a tanning salon, and they have a bunch of like resort wear. That's what it is. And so yeah, if you can get there, you go around the building, and I'm on the side. Super cool. Come check it out.
Janis, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. Thanks for the beer. That's what really matters.
Cheers. Rebels, Thanks for listening today. I'm going to include links in the show notes so you can find out more information about Janis's work. And I'm also proud to let you know that the Rebellion Brewing podcast is an affiliate member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. If you're into podcasts, you're looking for great content produced right here in our province, the Sask Podcast Network at saskpodcastnetwork.com is a great one-stop shop to discover local stories to listen to. As always, if you want to find the latest news about Rebellion Brewing, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Untappd. Untappd is like Facebook for beer. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.